Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, now you can go ahead.
Okay, great. So, in today's workshop, I'll be talking about plants that are Erica palm that you can see right here. Next is pothos or money plant that you can see right here. Then we have snake plant that is here, and I have aloe vera also, which is not here, but I have it. Okay, so about these four plants we're talking about. The reason why I've chosen these plants is because they are easily available in almost every other nursery. So there should not be a problem like it is available in our place and not available in somebody else's. And also because they are the best air purifiers. The soil composition that I'm going to tell you about these plants is mostly the same. It is the same for all the plants. So you have to take and also chosen these plants because they are the easiest plants for any plant parent to begin their plant parent journey. I mean, if you are new to this, then they are going to be so sweet and kind with you, and you will eventually fall in love with this journey of being a plant parent. So that's why I've chosen these plants for you. So if we talk about the soil composition, you have to take 50% of garden soil. Garden soil, when I say, I'm not saying potting soil. Potting soil are rich soils which you have to get it from some nursery only. I'm saying garden soil, matlab, understand that how low maintenance these plants are. So you take 50% garden soil, add 40% of cow dung to it, and 10% of river sand, जिसे कि हम हिंदी में बालू भी कहते हैं. Now, the reason why we are adding sand is because it keeps your soil loose. The water should be drained properly. The roots should not hold water. नहीं तो there are chances that the roots can rot. So this should be your soil composition. When I talk about watering of plants, so the soil composition is the same for all the plants that I mentioned. Erica palm, snake plant, pothos, or aloe vera, same soil composition. Moving on, if I talk about the watering of these plants, since it is summers, and like we human beings need more water during summers, same goes with plants. So in times like now, for Erica palm and pothos, you should water every day. Okay, and I would suggest you also, it's the best time to water it either early in morning before 9 o'clock or before the sun is in its full intense heat before morning, or later in the night, later in the evening. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you're watering at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, then the sun is so bright and it is so much heat outside that as soon as you water the plant, the water will not go till the roots and it will get evaporated. So the right time to water your plant is before 9 o'clock in the morning or later in the evening. Talking about watering, what I have observed is that most of the people, they water the roots and they don't water the leaves of the plants. It is very important, it is an essential thing in fact, to always sprinkle water on the leaves of these plants. Because like I mentioned that all the plants here, be it snake plant or erica palm or pothos, and I also have fern here, I'll mention about that towards the end. They are all great air purifiers. They are dust magnets. They clean the air, they attract the dust. So when you clean the leaves of these plants, that's when they function better. So talking about watering, for plants like erica palm and pothos, you water it every day once. But for plants like Sansevieria snake plant or aloe vera, they don't need water every day. They need once because they store in water in their leaf. They store in water. So if you water them every day, there are chances that they can get soggy and you might see the leaves drooping. And from the bottom, you can feel that that's what we call them, soggy. Okay. So that was about the soil and about the watering. Now, let's talk about the placement. These three things are the basics for the good growth of any plant. When I talk about the placement, I mean where should we keep these plants? For placement, you should keep these plants in a shaded area, in a place where indirect means thoda sa chan ke dhoop aata ho, indirect sunlight comes. So and it is a good thing, because like if in today's world, I think most of us are living in a vertical space, in flats, in complexes, where we don't have a land area, and most of us have this problem that we don't get full sunlight, direct sunlight. So if you are living in a flat, or and the only space you have is a balcony area, you can keep these plants there and create a cute little green corner of your own at your own space. So pothos or money plant, they do great in hanging planters. Like the one that I have here is, you can see how beautifully they are falling off. So placement again plays a very important role. Keep these plants in a shaded area where indirect light comes, and that's all these plants need, and a little bit of love and some extra care. Yeah. So these are the basic things about these plants. Now, some of the common problems. Okay, before moving on to the problems, there's one thing that I would like to share here with all of you. But before that, Jitendra, I think everything so far, it's clear and audible. Just wanted to
Is
confirm.
perfect. Is perfect. And we have got some basic questions from the participants. So
Okay, great. Shall
one
we cover
question
those
is,
questions? Okay, I mean, are we going to cover those questions towards the end, or we can take it in anything is
we'll
fine with
take
me? Oh, go
we'll
ahead.
we'll take some question in between and then we continue. So like two three
Okay, great.
questions at a time.
Great,
So
great. Go ahead.
one question is garden soil mitti? I mean, its question is from Komal, and she's asking what is garden soil basically? Is it common sand which we see everywhere?
Yeah, it is the same like you asked. Garden soil मतलब मिट्टी ही होता है जो common sand हमें like we go to parks, तो वहाँ जो आपको मिट्टी दिख जाए, या फिर outside your home if you're living in a place जहाँ कच्चा जमीन हो, पक्का जगह ना हो, तो वहाँ पे जो जिस तरह की मिट्टी हमें मिले. But one thing we should be sure of is that soil should not have stones in it. कंकड़ पत्थर नहीं होने चाहिए उसमें. I hope that answers Komal's question.
Okay. And another question from Krishna. He's
Okay.
asking, can we put cocoa peat in the soil?
Yeah, definitely. Cocopeat works the same like river sand. जो बालू मैंने कहा, it works the same like river sand. So you can go ahead with cocopeat. That actually helps in loosening the soil so that the roots don't hold water for a very long time, and so that they don't rot.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay, great. So before moving on to the common problems, I would like to mention one thing here. One would like to share one data with all of you. I mean, with so much happening around and with so much air pollution, and it actually breaks our heart to see people wearing masks, and it has become a new normal for us these days. I would request firstly that. Maybe most of you already have these plants at your home, but if you don't have, then please start by at least one Erica palm at your home, because this plant is really sweet. It will be kind to you, and you can easily become a plant parent of Erica palm or pothos or snake plant. I'm saying the reason I'm saying this is because it is said, the research says that in a home of 1800 square feet, there should be at least 18 to 20 plants. So you can do the math and can calculate that how many to keep the air clean inside your home. So you can do the math and can calculate that how many plants should be there at your space to keep your home environment clean and fresh and pure. And to add a little more, this is not me saying, NASA recommended that these plants are the bestest air purifiers, I would say. And at in one home for one person, there should be at least 4 Erica palms. That's how Erica palm, I mean, 4 Erica palm helps for one person. So at least if you cannot have 4, start by 1. That's what I would like to say. Moving on to the common problems that we mostly face with these plants are in in Erica palm, we have the leaves, like you can see here. Even I have few brown tips here, so they are getting fine. These, if I hope this is clear, visible. Leaves have brown tips towards the end. Maybe you will sometimes face this issue. That can be due to maybe your plant has not been exposed to indirect sunlight. I mean, either you're completely keeping it indoors. That could be one of the reasons. The other reason could be either overwatering. Mostly what I see, and out of fondness and love for plants, what we do is we just keep watering them. अरे थोड़ा पानी और डाल देते, थोड़ा पानी और डाल देते हैं. Don't over pamper your kids also. As much as needed, water them at the right time. So when we overwater them or underwater them also, you can see the brown tips. You can see the leaves of the Erica palm turning yellow, and the sole reason for that is because maybe they're exposed to direct sunlight. They don't like direct sunlight. I mean, the moment they're exposed to direct sunlight, you can see the brown. I mean, we have experienced that, and it broke our heart because it started having brown patches on the leaves, all over the leaves. So don't expose Erica palm to direct sunlight. Keep them in shaded area. Um, so that is the solution to your Erica palm. Next, the same goes with pothos. That for pothos also, you have to keep, if you are experiencing yellowing of leaves or maybe the tips getting browner, the same thing again, either underwatering or you're overwatering. Now you have to decide what you have been doing with your plant, and maybe because you have kept it in direct sunlight. You can also experience the leaves turning black, and that is again because of the exposure to direct sunlight. And about snake plant, I we see that one of my aunts, she called me the other day and she said that her leaves have completely become soggy and they are drooping like this. And I asked her the reason, and she said that her mother-in-law asked her to water Erica snake plant and aloe vera every other day. And then that's when I got to know the reason, that the sole reason was overwatering. So do not overwater your snake plant and aloe vera. Keep them in shaded area and water them once in 10 days, and you're good to go, and they'll be absolutely fine with you. So these are the problems for these are the commonly known addressed problems that we come across as plant parents. Moving on, I have some desi nuskas, I mean some gardening hacks, things that we use in our kitchen and that can work like magic and can do wonders to our plants. So let's start with that. Before that, Jitendra, do you want to some questions? Can we take up some questions?
Yeah, we can take one question from Sachi. She's
Yes,
asking
sure.
that why flower seeds germinate slower than vegetable seeds, or
Okay.
is there any way to make them germinate faster?
See, every plant, I mean, to that, I would say that every plant have their own growth. Okay, like if I talk about snake plant, I'll come to your question about flower seeds and vegetable seeds. But if I talk about snake plant, if you experience the growth of this plant, you have to be a really patient plant parent to grow snake plant, because their growth is like very slow. So don't worry about the growth. I mean, by flowering, that's what I say. I said that they have their own time of growing. But if you want to experience fast growth, you can use in some fertilizers, organic fertilizers like mustard cake fertilizers. They do wonders to your flowering plants, and not just flowering plants. Recently, I came across this thing. I was under this impression that we can use mustard cake fertilizer. In Hindi, we call it सरसों की खल्ली का fertilizer. सरसों की खल्ली का खाद कहते हैं हम उसे. So I was under this impression that we can use it only during winters and can use it only for flowering plants, but we can use it for all the plants and they do wonders. So you can try mustard cake fertilizer. Take like 250 gram of mustard cake. You get it in any of the shops which offers food for animals. So you can get it there. Take it 250 gram, put it in a box, add like 1 liter of water to it, and then keep it for 48 hours, and then add that solution to 10 liters of water and use it in your flowers, and see the wonder. I hope that answers to Sachi's question.
Okay, and another question we have from a couple of our viewers related to snake plant. First question
Okay,
is from
great.
Karishma: how to
Oh,
pot a
hi
snake
Karishma.
plant?
How to pot a snake plant? Okay, I mean, how to pot a snake plant? I think for every other plant we have the. I mean, if she can be a little more specific with her question.
Basically,
What a
she's
snake plant?
asking
Uh-huh.
uh, how to grow a snake plant from another snake plant.
Oh, how to grow. Okay, great. Yeah. So what you can do is like if you already have a snake plant at your home, we can grow snake plant from cuttings. You take a snake plant and then is it clear? Is it visible? Like if I'm showing the snake plant, Jitendra?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So you take the snake plant, you take the cutting of the leaf and place it in soil in sand because they come out the roots they come out well when you place it in sand balu mein dalte hain to. And keep one thing in mind, very important, that when you're cutting off or when you're taking the cutting, the upper part should be the upper part of the cutting and the lower part should be the lower part. I mean, the lower part should go inside the sand, because if we do ulta fulta, then roots will not come. And but one thing is there, that if you have, like, this one is not the variegated one, we have the other one that have the yellow outlines and the green one. If you are planting it with cuttings, then you won't experience the variegated leaf. Yeah, Jitendra.
And Siddhi has a question that my snake plant has started to grow half leaves, and leaves tend to break very quickly nowadays. Is it because of the heat?
Definitely, it can be because of the heat, because they have absolute love for indirect or shaded light. So change the place of your plant immediately if you have exposed it to sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah, Jitendra.
And we have another question from Charu. She says, "I saw hollyhock seeds, but did not germinate. Is it not the right season to grow hollyhock?"
Okay, sorry, Charu, but I'm not known about hollyhock. Do we have any other name for that plant? Maybe I'm not aware of this name.
Uh, uh, I think we can continue.
Okay,
When we get the other name, I'll let you know.
great, great, Jitendra. So moving on, let's talk about some gardening hacks and some things that we can take out from our kitchen and can use it for our plants. Starting off with, most of us have hibiscus at our home. Okay, now I'm going off the topic. I mean, I'm not, I will be sharing about these plants as well, but I'm first telling you about hibiscus because that is one common plant that most of us have at our home. So, all you tea lovers or coffee lovers here, tea lovers, what you can do is when you're having your tea, the used tea leaves, you can just wash it, dry it under sun, and can sprinkle it, handful of dried tea leaves, dried used tea leaves. You can sprinkle it on the soil at the corner and can water it. And you see the magic. We are experiencing that magic that used tea leaves has done to our hibiscus plant. For coffee lovers, you have to sacrifice your coffee powder. Sorry, you have to take that coffee powder, add half liter of, like, maybe two tablespoon, half tablespoon of coffee powder, add half liter of water to it, and then add more half liter of water to it. I mean total 1 liter. Sorry for that confusion. And then you can use that water to water your hibiscus plants. It can also be used for other flowering plants because tea and coffee, they are organic and they do great for your flowering plants. Moving on, you have like we have this pest thing on our plants, millibugs hai, ants hai. So we were really terrified with ants and millibugs recently, and we found a solution for it, and that is, you have cinnamon, right? हिंदी में कुछ कहते हैं cinnamon. Okay, cinnamon को आप take like 100 gram of cinnamon and boil it in add half liter of water to it, boil it for 2-3 minutes, let it cool down, let the water cool down. Now add more half liter of normal water to it. Okay, and then use that water to water your plants. I mean the soil, as well as sprinkle it on the leaves and at places where you can see mealybugs and ants. It really does wonders and magic. For the same thing for pest and for good growth, you can also use your onion peel. We onions को छीलते हैं हम लोग, and then we peel off the onion and we throw that peel. Don't throw it away. Keep them and use them. Take a handful of onion peel, place it in water, half liter of water, and then uh, leave it for like 48 hours. Take that solution and add it to 10 liters of water. They are hard. Let me tell you, they are hard. So don't, and all that I'm saying now, use it 10 days once. Sorry, once in 10 days. Yeah. So for the onion peel, add 10 liters of water to it, and then again use it to water at the roots of the plants. And don't forget to sprinkle it at places where you have ants or mealybugs, and you can see them going away. Next is, people have this problem that their pothos is not growing or doing very well. You have raw milk, kacha doodh. Take 2 tablespoons of raw milk, 2 or 3 tablespoons, add half liter of water to it, and then use this to water your, for 2 to 3 tablespoons, I'm telling you the water measure, and then use this to water your pothos. Only pothos. This is only for pothos. For aloe vera, since they like potassium, so you can take I banana peels. After eating banana, take the banana peels, keep it in water, take like 2 banana peels, add maybe a liter of water to it. That will settle down for 24 hours. Keep it and close the box, that container that you have placed it in, and then leave it for 24 hours. Take that water and add more 5 liters of water to it, and then use it to water your actually you can use that to water every other plant, because they are organic and so they don't do any harm to your plants. And don't throw away that banana peel. Use it if you're preparing a compost at your home, so you can use that to prepare your organic compost. So yeah, these are some desi tricks and some desi hacks that you can use in your garden. So yeah, Jitendra.
Yeah, so there is one question from my side. This
Yeah,
Erica palm looks beautiful, and I want to
thank you.
get that kind of Erica palm. So, do we need a very big pot for this?
It depends on the size of the plant. If you have a plant, but the size that fits in the best is a 12-inch pot. So get a 12-inch pot, even if the size of the plant is a little small or big like this one. A 12-inch pot would do great. And for the greenery, we have not recently, I would say, for some time, we've started using Epsom salt. Epsom salt helps to keep the leaves of these plants green and also helps in better growth. So for Epsom salt, you can take maybe half a tablespoon of Epsom salt, and all you have to do is sprinkle it in the corners of the pot in the soil, and then add a little water. That's it. I hope that answers your question, Jitendra.
Yeah, thank you. One question we are
Huh.
getting from Karishma is,
Okay.
can we directly put fruits and vegetable peels in the pot? I mean, will it not cause any odors or something?
Okay, I would suggest no, because there are chances that it might attract ants and other kinds of insects. So I would say no. You either use the water of it and don't directly use it. Better you prepare compost at your home rather than directly using it in the soil.
Okay, so we'll take question related to pests in one go, so we can
Yeah,
continue.
sure.
Share. Yeah, Shreya, you
Is
can
there any?
continue.
Okay, okay. No, so that was all from my end. That's all that I wanted to cover for this session about the plants that I mentioned. And about the common problems and everything. And yeah, that's all from my end.
Okay, so we'll take some questions.
Yeah, great.
How We have a question from Devashish. How to get rid of powdery mildew on the underside of leaves? He has faced this problem with bell peppers and tomato plants.
Okay. Yeah, so for that, like I mentioned, the cinnamon solution can be one of the remedies. It works. And the other one can be the neem water solution. I mean, again, take a handful of neem leaves and add a half liter of water to it, boil it for 2-3 minutes, and then add it to another 1 or 2 liters of water, because again they are strong. But don't use it directly on the roots. I mean, don't use that water to water the soil or the roots of the plants. There are chances that पौधा जल सकता है. So use it, sprinkle it on the places where you are experiencing the bugs, because actually the ants or these mites or all these kinds of insects, they don't like these strong smells. So when you use the neem solution, or when you use the cinnamon solution, pest control, I would say, or remedies, ants and mealybugs, they don't like that strong smell and they go away. Because we were really facing this problem of ants and mealybugs in our hibiscus, and now we're very fine with it.
Another question which we get from our viewers and customers generally:
Uh-huh.
how to ensure better germination rates for vegetable seeds?
Okay. Okay. One basic requirement is the full sunlight. And also, sometimes the quality of seeds matter, but all that matters is the condition that you have placed your plant in. And one basic requirement is the place that you have placed in, that is, they need direct sunlight. So if that is not, if the conditions that are provided are not favorable, that could be one of the chances that the seeds are not quickly germinating. Again, the watering, I mean, the basics, I would say, the placement, the water, that's what is needed for quick germination. Other than that, I don't suggest people to start adding fertilizers in a very initial stage, because the plants should develop roots, and then is the time when we should start adding some organic fertilizers. So that's what I would suggest. And other than that, maybe the soil that you're using is not rich. Maybe try changing the soil. Although vegetable or kitchen gardening does not really need very high quality soil like the flowering plants need. So one of the, I think, problems could be maybe like, not the direct exposure to sunlight. Yeah, Shireen.
Okay. Viewers are asking tips for money plants, how to grow them, how to take care of those plants.
Okay, great. So for money plant, like I covered, like I mentioned in the beginning, um, for the soil, I mean, see, I would say money plant has been kind with us, that without giving much to them, they have grown so beautifully. We have used it in hanging planters in our home. You can see it anywhere, many places. So tips to grow money plants quickly would be the soil, and we have used the very basic soil. If garden soil is not working for you, maybe try switching to potting soil, that you can get it from any of your local nursery, and then add cow dung to it. Cow dung, it works great. So add, like, take 50% of the potting soil, 40% of cow dung, and 10% of river sand. That's what we use. And very basic, just indirect or shaded area sunlight, and watering it. Now, if I talk about now, once every day. For good growth, one thing that works great is you can use that raw milk thing that I mentioned, 2 or 3 tablespoons of raw milk and then half liter of water, and use it for your money plant. Other than that, what you can do is that you are using, we are washing rice, we are cooking vegetables, so we wash vegetables. The water that is left over, use that water to water your plants. That again does wonders and is good for the growth of your plant and can help you to make your money plant look bushy and greener. Yeah.
Ano- Another question we are getting is how to get more flowers on hibiscus and Mobra plant. The question has been asked by Rakesh and Siddhi.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Can you repeat?
How to get flowers at hibiscus and Mobra.
Okay. Okay, great. So for more flowers, one thing, like I mentioned, is the used tea leaves and coffee powder solution. That is something that has worked like really good for us for our hibiscus plant. Other than that, I mean, that's what we did for our petunias, because petunias, they have so many. I mean, no, I know this is not Rakesh's question, but we do deadheading. That if there is a flower that has lived its life, you should that should no longer exist on your plant, because even they take some of your soil's energy. So remove the plant, the flowers, the dried flowers. Um, Coming back to the used tea leaves and coffee solution, should I mention that again, Jitendra, about how to use it?
Yeah, for used tea leaves, questions are coming that should we wash it first to get rid of the sugar which is inside it?
Yes, yes, please. You should definitely wash it, or else you, instead of getting some good results, you might attract ants, and that would be another big problem. So when you use the tea leaves that are left over, wash it first very properly, keep it under sun, let it dry, and then a handful of it, sprinkle it in the corners of your soil in the pot, and just add a little water, and you're good to go. You can use the same thing with hibiscus, and can also do the same thing for your mogra. For the coffee solution, you have to directly take the coffee powder. That's why I said that the coffee lovers have to sacrifice their coffee powder. You have to take the coffee powder, add half liter of water to it, and then not half, add 1 liter, like take half tablespoon of coffee powder, add 1 liter of water to it, and then use that to water your plants like hibiscus and mogra. Yeah.
Okay. Another question from multiple viewers is how to make compost at home using vegetable scraps and fruit scraps, and maybe not get uh,
Yeah, maybe
larvas
not
into
get.
it or odor.
Okay. Okay. So, one thing you can do is whenever you're making compost, don't just add the leftovers. Always add some soil to it. When I say, you can either use the potting soil or the garden soil that you already have in your garden. So take some first, place some soil in the container that you're preparing the compost in. And before that, the container should have holes in it, so that air should be passing in and out, or otherwise, and also the waters that, because what happens, there's, okay, first let me go it this way. Okay, so the container should have holes in it, so that there should be proper air circulation. Other than that, first add a little bit of soil to it, garden soil or potting soil, and then garden soil would do, and then add your left the fruits or the vegetables, or the 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 things that you want to add. Yeah, the greens. Okay. Also, you can the dried leaves or the flowers. Don't throw it away. Use it to make your compost. And then again, like, you should keep adding soil. I mean, add your soil, then again the leftovers, then after some time again add the soil, and sometimes add water to it. That's how you can prepare compost at home. And after like maybe 10 days or 15 or 20 days, one, just give it a mix. so that there is again aeration is there, and so that not many bugs or smell or things are coming. Some insects or bugs you might experience, and that is good to have them because they actually increase the fertility of the compost that you're preparing. Yeah, Jitendra.
Yeah. Another question which I get from the viewers is so in the summer we see that the pot is moist, the soil is moist, and suddenly it goes all dry in the evening. So it
Hmm.
becomes really difficult to gauge how much water we should be giving to our
Hmm.
plants, because in one moment it is looking all moist, and in the evening we are checking it looking like very dry.
Okay, okay,
So
got it. Uh, yeah. So for that, firstly, you should notice one thing. I mean, at what time you're watering the plant. That's why I mentioned that water it. And what you said is quite normal in times like now, because maybe your plant is exposed to sunlight. If you're keeping it in a shaded area or indoors, there are less chances of the soil drying up so fast. But obviously, if it is exposed to sunlight, then definitely the soil will dry up. And if the top layer of the soil has dried up, then it is the time to water the plants, because like I mentioned, in summers we human beings need more water. Similarly, some plants, depending on their requirements, they need more water. So one of the ideal times to water your plant would be early morning, and we also sometimes water later in the evening, so that as soon as we water, the water does not evaporate all of a sudden, and the soil gets some time, and this water gets down and reaches the roots of the plants. So if the soil has dried up, no need to worry, water it again. Not like yeah, water it again. I mean, check the top layer of the soil and water it again if the soil has dried up. It is a common problem in summers, and yeah.
another question which is coming again and again, can we grow vegetables from using the seeds from the kitchen vegetables, like from tomato slices or from capsicum, which we buy from the store?
Okay. I haven't grown a capsicum, so I am sure I have to, because I have received one from the affordable organic store, so I will definitely try that. So I wouldn't say anything about the capsicums, but yeah, for tomatoes, you can definitely, yes. For other few vegetables like chilies, you can use the seeds, the inside seeds that are there. You can use them to grow chilies at your home. Other than that, you can also use क्या बोलते हैं उसको, what do we call methi, fenugreek, and dhania you can use to grow seeds. You can use those seeds that you get for your kitchen, and can use them, and can grow those microgreens. Yeah, Jitendra.
Devashish is asking how to use Epsom salt on rose plants.
Okay, so what you can do is you can take half a tablespoon, okay, not teaspoon, half a tablespoon of Epsom salt. The use is the same for all the plants mostly. You can take half a tablespoon of Epsom salt and can sprinkle it like if this is considering this as rose. I hope, is this visible, Jitendra?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can add it here on the corners. Just use the khurpi or the tools that you have, and dig a little soil at the edges of the pot. Add a little bit of Epsom salt, not a little bit, half a tablespoon of Epsom salt. And again, that depends on the size of your pot. So it is for a 12-inch pot, take half a tablespoon of Epsom salt, place it at the corners of your pot, and then cover that with the soil, and then add water to it. Use it 10 days once.
So is this
Yeah.
same for all other plants also?
Yeah, it's the same for other plants also because they are strong. So थोड़ा कम ही देना चलेगा, ज़्यादा देने से instead of losing the plant, it's better to experience a little slower growth. That's what I think.
Our viewers are requesting if they can get a tour of your garden.
Yes, definitely. I would love to. Give me a second. One second. Okay. Okay, so how do we turn on the back camera? Yeah, this is how we do. So you can see the pothos here, all are in hanging planters. Okay, I hope it's visible. Jitendra, you can just give
Yeah,
a.
yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, so these are all the hanging planters, pothos we have here. Okay, here I have the Erica palm. I have snake plants here. Okay, this is my Dieffenbachia. I have this one, it just had got fallen off, so we have to hang it again. And one second. We have actually moved in. We had Erica palm here as well, but because it is exposed to direct sunlight, so we have moved it here and here. You can see so many Erica palms in one place. This is what we have. Uh, I have a little garden upstairs also. So give me a second. I'll just turn off the camera and then we can see it there. I hope that's fine, Jitendra.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here I would say this is how the overall it looks like. Yeah. Give me a second. Actually, the upstairs, it's not in a very good state now because we've recently done some potting and mixing. So it is all like this. And this green net has fallen off. So see how they don't like direct sun at all. And so why we have to cover them with green net. These Erica palms here, these are sweet potatoes. People say they like direct sunlight, but then we had a very bad experience with them exposing to direct sunlight. So these are sweet potatoes, one of green color, the other of brown color. Then we have recently planted these cochias. They are summer loving, but since we have recently planted them, we have kept them in shaded. So whenever you are planting, uh, like you have just got it from the nursery and you've just planted it, keep it in shade or in direct sunlight for some like maybe a week, and then expose it to direct sunlight once it gets the roots. So they are summer loving, these cochias. But since we have just planted them yesterday, we have kept them under shade. Then we have this here. I always forget the name of this plant, man. Help me. And we have croton here. And again, in the background, we have Erica palm. Here, I can show you 1 second. Okay. These are all the coolest that we have here. This is Mogra, uh, recently planted, so there's no flowers yet. This is all coolest that we have. They're again shade loving. And then we have some turtle vines here. They're again shade loving. So they're not properly arranged because most of them love shade. And so why we have to keep them. And here how the aloe vera, this aloe vera almost died, but then again it revived by placing it at the right place. So this is aloe vera right here. And other than that, hibiscus, we have it here. We have hibiscus here. Today in this hibiscus, if you can see the buds, the number of buds that they're giving, see. And this is totally the result of the tea and the coffee. If you can see, there are so many of them. So today we got around I don't even have a count, maybe like 15 flowers from these hibiscus plant. And we have and there's bougainvillea here, that is again hibiscus, and again this is a bougainvillea plant, and this is what we call in Hindi, I don't know. We can make oregano from this. This is, I forget the Hindi name of this plant. So yeah, that's the plants that we have. The garden is not in a very good state, like I said. It's a little agitated. Also, we have this here, Duranta. This is one of those plants which you will usually see in IT parks or maybe in schools, and they are usually used as hedges at the corners in the pathways. And the best part is that you can also grow them from cuttings in a pot like this, in a 10-inch pot. And but the right time to plant them is winters, because that's when they're easily planted. Give me a minute, I'm just going downstairs.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's all.
So viewers
Details.
are actually complimenting your garden.
Thank you
Saying it's
so
beautiful
much.
garden.
It's
I'll
not just
take
because of me alone, it's mostly because of my mother. So I'll just give away the credits to my mom. Thank you,
we'll
Duranta.
take
Yeah,
two three questions quickly.
yeah,
One
sure.
question from Rakesh is, can you recommend some flowering plants जिसमें साल भर flowers आते हो?
Yeah, perfectly. Perfect question. I mean, thank you for the question. Flowers that bloom throughout the year are Mogra. Then you have bougainvillea. Then you have hibiscus, and the other one is wait. I just forgot the name of the plant. You have Ixora. Yes, Ixora. So these are the plants that can grow, that bloom throughout the year. And remember one thing, this happened with us actually. When you're going to buy bougainvillea, always ask the nursery person to give you the one that has to be planted in a pot. They gave us the one that has to be planted in soil, in zameen mein lagane wala. तो उसमें क्या है, it is taking so much of time for us to get the flowers. But the ones that, there are different hybrid ones. So but if you get the hybrid ones, very quickly you get flowers in your pot. Yeah.
Another question from Siddhi is, how do we keep the soil from draining out of pots?
Okay, great. Yeah. So when you are potting any plant, keep one thing in mind, that there's a hole, right, for in the pot. Keep a stone, not a stone, I would say, जो वो टेराकोटा जिसमें हम लोग पौधा लगाते हैं, in the terracotta pot in which we are planting the pot, take maybe a part of that, if you have a broken one or something like that, and place it on that hole, so that when you're watering the plant, the soil doesn't come out and only the water comes out. Cover that hole. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Keep something on the holes. Maybe stone, or maybe the terracotta, a part of the terracotta pot. If you have a broken one, break it again into pieces and use that to cover those holes in the pot that you have planted. Yeah.
Uh, Charu is asking, are there any tips for daisy petunia plants?
Okay. Yeah. Tips, I would say, one is deadheading, and the other is for flowers, mustard cake. Use mustard cake. It is great. I would say DAP also. We use DAP, but I am not suggesting it here because sometimes people tend to use it a lot, and then they end up making their leaves or flowers or plants die. So they are a little harsh, like urea or DAP. So I would say use mustard cake fertilizer because they're organic and they are good to use. Take like I mentioned before, take 100 gram of mustard cake fertilizer, mustard cake, and then add it in maybe a liter of water and leave it for 48 hours. And after that, use I mean to that mustard cake solution, add that mustard cake solution to 10 liters of water and use it to water your flowering plants. That's what we do.
Karishma is asking tips for chili plants.
Tips for chili plants. For vegetable gardening, I would say what you can use is the daily fruits, I'm saying the daily vegetables or fruits that you're washing. Use that water to wash your plants, to water your plants. Sorry, and other than that, the correct soil composition and the correct placement of the plant would be more than enough.
Uh, Siddhi is asking any tips for marigold plants.
Yeah, marigold plants. I think this is not the right time. I don't know which place you're located in, but flowering plants like marigold or petunias, they do great in winters, not in summers, at least for gardeners. I mean, I know the farmers or people who do farming of marigolds, they grow it throughout the season. But the best time to grow marigolds or petunias is during winters because they can survive then well. So for marigolds, again, this is not the right time, I would say, depending on the place that you're situated in. But the deadheading, very important. Mustard cake, very important. One thing that is good for all the plants is tilling the soil. You should always जो top layer of the soil है उसको खुरपी से या using any tool जो just उसको top layer of the soil को चलाते रहिए so that there is proper aeration and bottom of the roots तक bottom of the soil तक हवा पहुंचे. That is important. So that is one of the things that you can do. And again, like I said, DAP use किया जा सकता है for these flowering plants. What you can do for DAP is maybe I have to be very precise with the DAP. You can do is like you can maybe take half tablespoon of DAP and add it to 10 liters of water and then use that to water your plants, but once in 10 days. That's what you should do, and half tablespoon because they are that strong. So you can do that as well.
We'll take one last question from Kavya. So,
Yeah,
how
sure.
to start with the germination of seeds? If somebody is a beginner and they have got the seeds, what is the
Yeah.
best way to germinate them?
Okay, the best way to germinate them would be take a good soil composition because you should not get demotivated in the very first go. So take a good soil composition. Don't go with the garden soil. Maybe go with the potting soil. Use good amount, like go with the potting soil 50%, add cow dung to it, and 40%, and then river sand. That is because soil is the very important thing because lastly to usi mein grow hona hai na. So soil composition has to be good. So take good in proper proportion of soil composition and keep it in direct sunlight. Just meet the basic requirements that any seed would need to germinate, and you will be good to go, girl, and you will see the results. And other than that, the things that I mentioned, use the daily vegetables या rice को जो water wash करने के लिए जो water use होता है, ये सब पानी का इस्तेमाल करिए to water your plants. They do great. Yeah.
So, we are getting more questions, but we are running out of time. So, Shreya, I would like to thank you on behalf of all the participants. They have commented on the section and on the behalf of Affordable Organic Store for providing such a good knowledge session on indoor plants and flowering plants. And
Yeah.
viewers, you can connect with Rani and Shreya on Ma Beti Instagram channel. So do follow them for great
Yeah.
garden hacks and tips.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for Jitendra, and thank you everybody for joining in. It's actually a complete honor to be here. And again, like I mentioned, to talk about something that I love and I have so much of fondness to talk about, and that is these plants. Thank you again for joining in. Thank you for having me here. And like Jitendra mentioned, that all of you who are viewing me, showing you mainly my mom's miraculous things or things that she do, and me helping her doing. So thank you, and you can join us here. You can join us, and you can connect with us on our Instagram handle, that is garden by underscore ma beti. You can visit a portable organic store Instagram handle, and you will find us there. So please join us there, connect with us there, and we'll do some more gardening talks there as well. I would love to see you all there. And yeah, and I would just want to make a request. I know all the plant parents are here, all the plant lovers are here, but with so much going around and happening around, I would just want to request you all, so that you encourage our next generation, and we should get more and more people to take up gardening. So start by planting one sapling for those who are new, and for those who are already into this plant parenting journey, please keep going. Thank you.